XD 3002 Social Influences of Healthcare Disparities Summative Assessment NURS 3030 Advocating for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Healthcare. XD 3002 Summative Assessment Overview. For this performance task assessment, you will develop a narrated PowerPoint presentation for professionals in your healthcare field on healthcare disparities experienced by vulnerable populations. You will focus your attention on one particular population you will choose. You will then recommend interventions to address healthcare disparities and improve health equity and outcomes for the focus group. Instructions. To complete this assessment, do the following. Be sure to adhere to the indicated assignment length. Download the PowerPoint presentation template. Download the academic writing expectations checklist to review prior to submitting your assessment. Before submitting your assessment, carefully review the rubric. This is the same rubric the faculty instructor will use to evaluate your submission, and it provides detailed criteria describing how to achieve or master the competency. Many students find that understanding the requirements of the assessment and the rubric criteria help them direct their focus and use their time most productively. Important information on interpreting the assessment rubric. Achievement versus mastery of the competency. Mastery of this competency means that 80% or more of the rows have been assessed as exceeds expectations and no rows have been assessed as does not meet expectations. Achievement of this competency means that all rows are assessed at meets expectations or above. Assessment of individual rubric rows. In order to achieve meets expectations for a particular row of the rubric, you must have adequately completed all criteria in that row. This means that you have addressed all required elements to the required level of quantity and/or quality. In order to achieve exceeds expectations for a particular row of the rubric, you must have adequately completed all criteria in the row. And in addition, your response must reflect a depth and breadth of knowledge and expertise. Examples of this include, but are not limited to, the following. You provide additional, specific, and/or particularly relevant examples to illustrate points made. You seamlessly incorporate your original thoughts and diverse, credible, and relevant academic sources, when applicable, to express your viewpoint or develop a persuasive argument. You demonstrate a deeper understanding of the subject that draws from discipline-specific knowledge and theory and incorporates the viewpoints of a diverse set of business and management thought leaders. You draw additional connections between multiple, complex topics to support your explanations. You are able to apply your knowledge in unique, creative, and/or innovative ways. You thoroughly break down concepts into simpler parts and use your understanding of business to make connections. Your analysis is insightful and original. You design processes, products, and/or solutions that are creative, high quality, and innovative. You consider diverse perspectives and relevant social, ethical, and business-related issues when proposing new ideas or formulating judgments. All submissions must follow the conventions of scholarly writing. Properly formatted citations and references must be provided where appropriate. Submissions that do not meet these expectations will be returned without scoring. This assessment requires submission of one PowerPoint presentation document in PPT format. Save this file as XD 3002 first initial last name. Click each of the items below for more information on this assessment. Professional presentation. Addressing healthcare disparities in a particular population. For this competency assessment, you will prepare a PowerPoint presentation to educate professionals in your healthcare field on healthcare disparities experienced by vulnerable populations, with attention to one particular population that you choose, and with interventions you recommend to address healthcare disparities and improve health equity and outcomes for the focus group. To prepare, review the outline of required content under to complete your competency assessment. Keep in mind that the purpose of your presentation is to educate fellow professionals in your particular healthcare field. You will begin with a general review of the social determinants of health, common healthcare disparities, and common causes of those disparities. Then, you will move to the example of a specific population to bring to the attention of your fellow professionals. Identify the focus population. This may be a group in your community or region, or a population of particular interest to your professional role. The focus population should be a vulnerable group based on race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, disability, or other determining factor. Be sure to choose a population for which you can find reliable information. Gather key data about the population to create a brief profile of this group. Identify one or two major healthcare disparities experienced by the focus population to address in your presentation. Concentrate on healthcare disparities that are having the greatest impact on this group and for which you can recommend interventions. Explain causes of these healthcare disparities at the societal level, such as issues of economics, education, environment, and social views, including racism and other types of prejudice. Look for examples of the impact on the focus group in terms of patient-client experience and quality care. Identify up to 3 specific interventions that could reduce or remove one or more of the major healthcare disparities for your focus population. Provide examples of how the interventions can improve health equity and outcomes for the focus group. To promote advocacy, consider how to conclude your presentation with a call to fellow professionals to address healthcare disparities. Access the PowerPoint template to prepare your presentation. Review the following resources for support in developing your presentation and adding audio narration. Oasis, Microsoft PowerPoint, Walden University, Microsoft 365. How to add audio in your PowerPoint presentation. YouTube. Note: there is no specified time limit for your narrated presentation. However, keep your audience's interest and attention in mind. Refer to the professional presentation skills in the rubric for guidance. To complete your competency assessment, create a PowerPoint presentation of 11 slides with narration, plus title and reference slides to include the following. Explain how social determinants of health influence individual healthcare experiences and perspectives. Describe common examples of healthcare disparities. Describe societal influences that cause common healthcare disparities. Identify a specific vulnerable population based on race, ethnicity, gender, sexuality, disability, or other determining factor who experiences healthcare disparity. Provide a brief profile of this group based on the social determinants of health. Analyze causes of one or two major healthcare disparities experienced by the focus group. For each major healthcare disparity experienced by the focus group, explain the impact on patient-client experience and care. For each major healthcare disparity experienced by the focus group, explain up to 3 recommended interventions. Explain how the recommended intervention can improve health equity and outcomes for the focus group. Conclude with a call for advocacy to motivate your professional audience to address healthcare disparities for other vulnerable populations. Please contact Nursing Assignments Pro for help with XD3000 and 2 social influences of healthcare disparities, summative assessment, NURS 3030 advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusion in healthcare or any other assignment. Email nursingassignmentsprofessor@gmail.com.